एक घड़ी पीछे है मेरी। Anita, you'll be playing?
Yeah, Smita, I'll play the music. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Friends, please sit in a comfortable position. We will start the Anapanasati meditation now. We will start the Anapanasati meditation now. Sit comfortably in wherever place you're sitting, either in a chair or down in Sukhasana. Close your eyes. Clasp your hands. Remove your spectacles. With divine guidance from Brahmarshi Pitama Patri Ji, Mahavatar Babaji, Ramta Master, Galactic Federation of Light, who have channeled this book with all their divine guidance. Let's do this meditation and make ourselves ready and prepared to absorb all the energy, all the knowledge that this class brings today. Let's first start with relaxation. From the top, let's go over each of the organs and parts of the body. Relax the entire body and then proceed to the Anapanasati meditation. My forehead is relaxed. Just make the out breath longer and deeper. My head is relaxed. My forehead is relaxed. My neck is relaxed. My shoulders are relaxed. My hands are relaxed. My back is relaxed. My chest is relaxed. My hips are relaxed. My leg, my thighs, calf, ankles, and sole. Every part of my body is completely relaxed and relaxed and relaxed. Another wave of relaxation is coming through. My head is relaxed. My forehead is relaxed. My face is relaxed. My neck is relaxed. My shoulders are relaxed. My back is relaxed. My hands are completely relaxed and sitting on my lap. My chest, stomach, and all its internal organs are well rested and completely relaxed. My hip is relaxed. My thighs, knees, calves, ankles, my feet and soul are completely relaxed and relaxed and relaxed. From head to toe, my entire body is relaxed. You can continue to relax yourself, or once your body is relaxed, be that awareness and observe your breath. Just watch your breath. Just watch it. Don't change it. Just watch it. And just observe what all the breath is doing. Because when your body is completely still, that is the only thing that is moving. Breath is the only moving thing in the body now, from your awareness perspective. So just watch it as God. Whatever thoughts come and get distracted, you just come back to watch your breath. Slowly come back to your body consciousness, friends. At the count of 5, don't rub your hands, just keep it on your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And slowly open your eyes with a beautiful smile. Good afternoon to everybody who's here in India. And in case you've joined from elsewhere, good day to the others. Welcome to day 4 of Divine Design. And as usual, I'm very excited to be here to share with you something new that I may also be learning. Okay, so let me just share. And without wasting any time, let's go ahead and then start the book. So yesterday, we learned about what is called acclimation, and then we learned about assimilation. So what is acclimation? Getting accustomed. So we learned that sun is basically pushing energy into us to push us into subsequent dimensions, to evolve us. Evolve, we understood what is evolution, right? And evolution is basically going towards that that point, the source, right? That void, not exactly void, but then God, which is that source, going to that point, reaching that point from an energy point of view. So we learned what is assimilation. Acclimation is the one where we are going to get that energy. And then we also saw that body has this inner process where it is going to step down that energy and then absorb it and all of those things. Then assimilation is something that where body is getting adjusted. It is assimilating that light into itself, into this physicality, into the cells, into atoms or whatever it is. At that level, that assimilation is happening, which means at that electronic atom level, at an atomic level, the changes are basically getting incorporated. So that is called assimilation. We learned that. So now once that new energy has come in, what is the third step that is going to happen? It's called tapping. What is the meaning of tapping? Tapping is more like practicing. It is like a practice session that is actually going to happen before we switch to the next dimension. For example, let's say we are in the 5th dimension. Then what will happen? We will slowly be getting experiences or things like that to practice living in to practice that experience of the 6th dimension. It's like, for example, the way astronauts, before they go into the moon, they have always been living on the earth, right? So before they get accustomed to go to the moon, what do? All these astronauts are trained in a zero gravity kind of environment, in water, in some simulated environments. They are trained, and only when they are trained and they are basically maybe writing some test or exam or something like that, and then they go to that state, they basically travel. So similarly here also, tapping is a process which is a third step in which this evolution happens. In this third step, once all of those things have been assimilated, and now you have enough energy to vibrate at a higher dimensional field. So what exactly happens, we will study now in the third step. Tapping into the next dimensional field is an essential step in evolution. As the physical form holds more light, the human aspect and the earth can feel and experience the next highest frequency and dimensional field. See, who is the human aspect and the earth? It is the higher consciousness, right? The higher dimensional consciousness, they can experience. Who are they? They are all experiencing, right? They are not the physical, they are not physical. So they are experience takers. So those two, which is the human aspect and the earth, when all this extra energy comes in, they can experience that next higher frequency and dimensional field. They, which means the ego and personality. Now, who is this they? The ego and personality means the physical must begin to tap into and experience the consciousness within that dimension. So what this physicality has to do, they must basically work in that state. So that is what they are saying. So we will get more and more details as we go forward. Okay, so basically you just understand that they have to, the physical part and the non-physical, both the physical has to now basically get that practice sessions to now feel, to now experience in the physicality the next higher experience. And let's say the higher consciousness is going to experience that state through the physical. For example, let's say, I mean, whatever example is coming to me right now is, let's say we may be people who are seeing a lot of violence, all those, let's say, lower emotions kind of things in our reality. Maybe people are dying in wars and people are getting raped. You're seeing that in newspapers, and people are getting robbed. You'll be probably seeing all of those things in your reality. But as your shift continues to happen, as your evolution continues to happen, you will suddenly stop seeing all of those things. You'll be like, hey, aren't you aware of these Ukraine wars and all that is going on? Aren't you aware of these? This is happening, that is happening. It just came in today's newspaper. Did you not see? But then a person who has shifted will say, hey, I don't read the newspapers. Hey, I'm not getting that information at all. Whatever information is going to come to me, it's anyway coming to me. And in that information that is coming to them, maybe there is no news about wars. There is no news about anything where he feels sad at all. Right? You can understand the shift. How do you understand the shift? Let's say if something was bothering you today, if let's say some experience is bothering you today, some human beings are giving you an experience which bothers you today, which is bothersome. But if you shift, if your evolution is happening to the next level, and it has already happened, the same thing no longer bothers you, or it bothers you less. That is how you know that you have actually grown. You have actually moved on. That is how the experiences teaches you. So who is this person who now experienced the same reality, rather the same experience, but now it is not bothering you, no? So that is the physical part. Now this experience taker, or the consciousness that is inside you, has witnessed this body not feeling bothered at all. Right? So this is what they're talking about. So when that shift happens, both will get their corresponding experiences. Body also will get to see something new, and then consciousness also will get to experience something new. For instance, when the human's 5D physical form is anchored into 5D field. So now 5D, let's say I am the physical form. I've now gone to that fifth step of the triangle. Okay. It will experience and create from this field. So wherever that physical form's energy is, creation happens from there. What does it mean? Creation means, let's say I'm responding to somebody. There also we are creating. I mean, with every moment we are creating something or the other. We are either creating hurt in somebody, we are creating happiness in somebody, we are creating bisibelebath in the kitchen, We are creating so many things on a daily basis, right? We are constantly thinking, we are constantly responding, we are constantly having emotions, and we are constantly creating something or the other. We are basically creating. But if you are now in the 5D field, you are creating from the 5D field, which means, let's say in the past, if you were if somebody was bothering you, you would shout back at them and create an energy of anger. But now in the 5D experience, you have now, let's say, evolved. Now you are not creating anger energy. You're creating an energy of peace, gratitude, calmness. You created energy here also, but it, because you have created from a higher experience, from a higher field, that field will actually reflect in your physicality. Rather, you will be able to stand from that field and respond and or create for that, whatever that means, right? So now who is experiencing this? Your higher consciousness is also now experiencing that, oh, my physical is actually giving me a 5D experience now. So you understood the difference. It is a difference that you can see only based on how your reality is and how you are responding. That is how you will be able to measure yourself. Okay, so you'll know that you have actually evolved. How much, that you can't really explain, that you may not be able to measure, but it happens. Measurement happens, but you may not be able to measure so much. But measurement part and all, they'll explain here. But there is really not a scale or a benchmark to measure it, but it gets measured. The body is holding 5D frequencies. As the form begins to assimilate and acclimate to light, it starts to hold higher frequencies of light. Okay, it comes, so it holds, allowing the human to naturally tap into the next higher dimensional field, which is the 6D field. So evolution means from 5D, if I'm in 5D, I'm actually naturally going to 6D, right? If I'm in 3D, I'm naturally going to 4D. So we are naturally going to the next level. Like from 3rd standard, we are going to 4th standard. The human begins to be and feel the higher frequencies or the higher states of consciousness within that dimension. So which means that the human, which is behind me, is experiencing, which is that Jivatma. They feel it, and within their body, because their body is holding that frequencies. They feel it means that experience is actually, soul feels, body doesn't feel. Okay, that feeling aspect is actually inside the soul, which is in the higher dimensional consciousness. The feeling and all happens there. Okay, that is out of scope of the body. When they feel, when that feels, that feeling is reflected in the body. Just give me a minute. So when the higher consciousness feels, we can see that reflected in our body, in the physical, through maybe goosebumps, or maybe some tears, or maybe some laughter, some bliss kind of feeling will be there, and some overwhelming gratitude might come. All of those things will actually show up in the physical, and you'll be like, wow, that kind of thing will be there in your body. Body wise feeling will anyway be there, but body wise you may have goosebumps, you may have those kinds of things. Okay, so that is about thing. They feel it within their body because the body is holding the frequencies. All that is experienced during evolution is in the body. Experienced, who is who is going through the physical changes, it is the body only. Tapping into higher frequencies of light and the next higher dimensional field allows the human and the earth to practice being in the higher states of consciousness. So tapping is basically giving you, slowly training you completely to go to that next level. And slowly, all this is basically practice, but you have actually not yet reached there. How do we know that we have actually now reached there and we are now situated in that level? Through the next level of process, which is called anchoring. What is the English meaning of anchoring? The dictionary meaning of anchoring means, let's say, for example, there's a ship. Now that ship, when it comes to the harbor, they take that a big rope and then they tie it to something called the anchor, so that the ship doesn't float off into the sea. So that thing that where they hook that where they tie the rope to that thing that is holding, that is called the anchor. You can say that maybe a big iron whatever, that stand or something like that, right? Bench or something. So that is called the anchor. So here what happens? As the physical form continues to acclimate and assimilate more light, tapping into the next dimensional field, the physical form will anchor into that field. The physical form must hold over 80% of the frequency of that dimensional field to anchor into the next higher dimensional field. So I remember that our Prabodh Master was saying that we were saying, Master, we were meditating, let's say we were doing night meditations, and we were asking, we are still sleeping through many of the meditations in the night, especially, right? And when we're doing night meditations, morning I was not sleeping much. Yeah, I used to sleep much in 2020. But then after, when I kept doing the meditations, by the time it was maybe 2022 or something, I stopped sleeping. I did not sleep through the meditations. Then in 2022 itself, when I did Gudakesha, I was still sleeping through the night meditations. When I was doing whole night, I used to sleep most of the night part. I used to basically sit and sleep. So we used to ask, why do we sleep? So he would say, until you hold 70% of frequency in your body, until that much of energy comes into you and you reach a 70% level, until then you will still sleep, he would say. You won't be able to be aware, he would be able to say. He was saying that. So it is, here they say 80%, it is around the same thing. You can just think that you should be able to hold that much more energy for you to be in awareness state. And that awareness state comes only when you are going to the next higher dimensional field. So that was his meaning. That was what he meant. I'm able to connect that and this. I mean, I don't know why he told that, but then for me, these two things holds like a connection. The physical form must hold over 80% of the frequency of that dimensional field to anchor into the next dimensional field. Once the body is anchored into the new dimensional field, it will physically stand in that field. So which means physically stand in that field means, I have told you in the past also, like in this chair that I'm sitting, let's say if I'm let's say in the third dimensional, if my body is holding third dimensional energies, right? Then my experiences will reflect that. And let's say in the same chair, if there is somebody else with a 5D field sitting, maybe next to me, there's a guy with 5D field standing or sitting or something, he will be experiencing something. Maybe somebody is shouting at me, I'll feel bad. But he'll see somebody shouting at me, maybe he'll not feel bad. I'm just giving an example like that. But then, of course, it's not like we see the same reality. I'm just saying that that is how it says it will physically stand in that field means our experiences will show that I'm actually in that field. It will reflect. So the human or the earth's reality is that dimensional field now. So now what this earth and human will get, they will get an experience of 5D. In the past, they were getting a lot of experiences through the physical body from 3D or 4D. Now he's getting everything, all the experiences through the 5D, which means because they have shifted to the next level. So the Earth's plan was what? Taking the physical along. It's easy for her to go everywhere, but she has a new experiment in mind. She says, I want the physical only to move along with me because until the 7th dimension, it's all physical. After 70, it is non-physical. So until 70, she wants to keep the earth. Because beyond 70, I think it can, at a mental level, beyond 70, we can travel. But physical can go only till 70. That is my opinion, but I'm not too sure. I have that much of knowledge only as of it. So once the body is anchored into a new dimensional field, it will physically stand in that field. So for instance, a 5D physical form is holding 100% 5D frequencies. So which means you are already in that field. So you are now 100%. Okay. As the body begins to acclimate and assimilate more light, the percentage shifts into 95% 5D, 5% 6D. So what happens? From fifth step, if it has to go to sixth step, it has to be in fifth. If I am in fifth step, if I say I'm in fifth step, it means that I have 100%. I'm already done. Little, I've already come and then settled here in 5D. Now from here, if I have to go to next level, obviously 5%, I'm just jumping. So imagine how much we have to still accumulate before we go to 80% of next level. Like that, okay? So shift into 6D means, I mean 5. It's like that overlaps will start happening. Before it was complete 5D, now it is going like this. This is 5D field. Before it was fully in 5D. Now what is happening? It is slightly shifting to 6D. So little 5% up, then more 5, then more 5, then more 5 more percent, 5 more percent, 5 more percent, 5 more percent, 5 more percent. Now it is in what? 80%. It is in 80%. So now they say that you are completely eligible to actually stand on 6D. And nobody can pull you back. Provided you have that energy, nobody can actually pull you back into your previous dimension. That is the idea. And then, of course, you'll continue to keep moving and then you'll go to 100%. So now you're actually fully here. You're completely operating from here, which means nobody can basically shake your foundation. You now have, because you've been trained, you know, all this time you've been trained, your belief systems, everything is now getting trained to operate from this level of thing, which means from here, all the lower frequency emotions, this, that, basically training. You're dropping all the lower frequency emotions. And then now you are now finally situated in your next level where you are operating at this level of frequency. Initially, what happened? You were slowly getting exposed. Let's say if this is completely duality. If you have to go to oneness, let's say oneness is here. Slowly you'll get trained. You'll get exposed to oneness. Then some more aspects of your life will go to oneness. More aspects of your life, you'll operate from oneness. More aspects. Now at this stage, 80%, you are like almost in oneness state. Most of your belief systems have been dropped. Limited belief systems have been dropped, and now you're basically thinking at that level also. You're operating, you're speaking, you're thinking, you're acting, you're like completely there. Then once you go to 100% here, nobody can actually shake you. You are like really there. If somebody gives you some duality gyan also, you'll be like literally be able to catch them. Okay, so that kind of thing. So 100% you are basically here. So in each of these fields, there is some characteristic, right? In every single dimension, there is a characteristic. So like that, you'll be able to, you'll get training, tapping, and then anchoring. Anchoring means 80%. 80%, and then you'll go. Anchoring means you can basically go and then hook yourself into that dimension, like a ship. Before that, you were basically sailing towards the harbor. But now you are actually in the harbor and you have anchored yourself, your ship, in the harbor. Okay, so that is what it says. The more light the body holds, the more percentage shifts into 6D frequency until eventually the body holds 80% of 6D. See, in this process of tapping and anchoring and all of those things, before, in the process of, let's say, tapping, you're accumulating. You will be losing it also, right? In the process of our life, we also have a lot of, leakages that happen. Some days we are up, some days we are down. Some days we are able to feel during gratitude. Some days we are not able to feel. Like today, today was one of the best in my gratitude practices. Like almost 6 pages of my gratitude, I was majorly in tears. And it was the best because I've never experienced 6 pages in tears so far. So it was the best for me. And but then tomorrow or yesterday, it was not like that. Tomorrow, I don't know if it's going to be like that. But then, yeah, after 5 pages, 6 pages, it was gone. Right? That awareness was gone. Why? Because somebody called me, and then I was talking to them, and like that mind shifted. So like this, we are constantly also leaking. We are also constantly leaking. Something or the other will keep happening like this. Like I was in that high, really high. And then my daughter called and then she said, Amma, I'm going to tuitions directly. Like 3 hours. Her tuition is like 3 hours away. At 6:30 her tuition starts. And she says, now only I'll go after tuitions and I'll sit there and do homework and all that. And I was like, is the tuition going to be open? Is she going to be alone? So all those questions started coming up in my head, right? So I basically, those were mostly fear-based questions. So, or doubt-based questions, some kind of, some underlying fear maybe. So what happened? I went down and I didn't have any tears after that. So this is what we are constantly also feeling on a daily basis. We are leaking also on a daily basis. So it's like we may go 5%, we may drop back 2%, we may go 3%, we may drop back 1%. So like this, we'll keep going like this. At some point, if your sadhana is majorly consistent, which is why we say consistently keep doing, keep doing, keep doing. And I think even Magic Book said, right? I think Magic Book or Power Book, it said, if you're practicing gratitude and you are not doing one day, then go back 3 days in gratitude practice. Which means if you're, let's say, doing chapter 5 practice, just for an example, during that Magic Book practice, she says that if she says you are in the 6th chapter and you had to do 6th chapter homework and you did not do 6th chapter homework, that day you just left. Next day was 7th chapter, but you forgot to do 6th chapter, you were busy. She says, go back to the 3rd chapter, start doing homework from the 3rd chapter, 4th chapter, 5th chapter, 3 days do it, then come back. Because the amount of energy you would have lost when you did not do your whatever work that you're doing today, it means that you have basically lost 3 days of that kind of energy. That is what is the meaning. And we all are facing it on a daily basis. And then that consistency is extremely important for you to go in a steady speed towards your next destination, towards your next milestone. Okay, so that is what this means. Once this occurs, the body is anchored into 6-dimensional field. The form is holding a majority of 60 frequencies and is physically standing in the 60 field. The human's entire reality in every now is seen through the lens of the 60. Every now means there is only now moment. This book will explain why there is only one now moment, but we don't have past and there is no future. Because it's all actually happening in this point only, right? It's all happening in this center point only. We just feel that it is stretched like this. But this is the only thing that exists because God is experiencing all the experiences only here. Mind may run away this side, mind may run away this side. But I'll explain why we go this side and this side also. I don't know when I'll explain that. From my some other understanding, I'll explain that. When time concept comes, I'll explain that. But typically, we are only in the now. So every now moment that you experience here is in the 6D field. The physical form is in the quantum field. The physical form is in the quantum field. Therefore, at this point, it can still see and feel the 5th dimension, but the form is anchored and standing in the 6th-dimensional field. So it can see, right? It can see people suffering. It can see people in the lower fields. So, for example, when we have a computer hardware, or let's say we have a computer or some app, some new phone has come in or something. What do we say? We say that, like for example, let's say Windows 12 or Windows 13 or something has come. They say that it is lower compatible. What is that called? It's called lower version compatible or something like that, they say, right? So it means that even if you have upgraded the hardware, it can support some of the lower ones also, something like that, they say, right? So this is that only. You may be in the 6th-dimensional field because of your mind and energy component inside, but you can see people in your reality who are still not in that field. What does it mean? It means that there are so many parts of your reality What is the reality that you're seeing? Which means so many parts inside you. You may have the energy, you may have practiced, all that is there. But you still have a lot of work to do to resolve all your karmas. There are so many karmas that are going to keep showing up in your reality through people. People are going to always give you messages, right? That is what we have told. You'll keep seeing people in your reality who are still at a lower level, which means you still have to resolve all of those experiences from 6D. You have to knock it off. You have to resolve all those karmas by standing in 6D. Before, some karmas, when you were in 5D, some karmas came in front of you through people, objects, experiences, all that. It came in front of you. You did all that work. But now from 6D also you have to take it. Because what is your ultimate job, Your ultimate job is to take all the people in your reality to that God point. That is the ultimate. You have to see God in everybody. When will you see God in everybody? When you are in God, you'll be able to see God in everybody. Correct? When you are not still in God, you'll still see flaws in everybody. You may still see people lower or higher or something like that. Because there is still that imbalance inside you. So that will get reflected outside. So until you are here, you will never be able to stop. There will always be that karmas that will keep coming up in front of you. Karmas means what I can say? Learning which will give you that wisdom of God. Every single experience in your life is to teach you some lesson. And that lesson, if you learn properly and you apply that in your life, you will get wisdom. It's called Brahmagyan. And that Brahmagyan will come. It'll keep coming. It'll keep accumulating. Like how we are doing tapping, anchoring and all that. Like that. That knowledge is also, that wisdom is also getting accumulated. At 6D also wisdom will get accumulated. Energy came. But how are you applying that energy in your life? Energy sun is giving. Maybe you're doing meditation. All that is anyway happening. But how are you applying all that energy in your life? Where is wisdom coming from? Wisdom is going to come when those experiences come in front of you and you handle it by standing from that dimension. You are resolving and you are responding from that dimension. That is what is going to give you wisdom. Okay? So that wisdom needs to be accumulated over a period of time. So that is what this says, that even if you stand in 6D, you can still see and feel the 5th dimension, but the form is anchored and standing in the 6th dimension. This process is how evolution occurs for both earth plane and the human form. There is acclimation of light, assimilation of light, tapping into the next higher dimensional field, and then the anchoring into that field. We created the 12D grid to allow all physical forms to connect and anchor into next dimensional field effortlessly. Actually, what I think even in Bringers of the Dawn and Sunshine Before the Dawn, they talk about the 12D grid. Here, 7D only we speak about. I mean, I spoke only about 7, right? But there are 12 levels like this. That is what they're talking about. They created 12D grid to allow all physical forms to connect and anchor into next dimensional field effortlessly. So let's see what that is all about. We'll go in detail. Choosing the 5D field. Earth chose the 5th dimension for a few reasons. It is the lowest dimensional field. So why did Earth choose the 5th dimensional field? She said, I'm going to come into 5D and then I'm going to go up from there. I'm going to start experiencing the physicality from 5D, and from 5D, I'm going to come to 6D. I'm going to come then do touring in 6D. Then I'm going to do touring in 7D. I'm going to come till there is what she said. She chose the 5D for a few reasons, it seems, because it is the lowest dimensional field a consciousness can enter into, that which provides a physical form without duality. Okay, there is no duality in 5D. It is still oneness. The 5D field allowed her to connect to the higher aspects of herself, including source, her blueprint, and the quantum field. So she says she'll be connected to all the higher, she'll be connected to higher aspects of her spark. She'll be connected to that, which means the physical can be connected completely to her spark, and then it can be connected. She can understand God from that point. She can understand the godness from that point. So her blueprint means her planning, and the quantum field means her own energy. So she'll be in awareness state. She'll be in 100% awareness is what she didn't want to basically get lost, no? So that is why she chose a point where she won't get lost. There the energies are very, very oneness kind of experience. So she'll be in 100% awareness. The 5D field also provides Earth with a large variety of consciousness to experience and create from the now. So there's a lot of variety. Lot of emotions are also there, which is good enough for her to, let's say, play around and experience physicality. So she said, okay, I'm going to start from there. When consciousness is in the 4D or a lower, which is 3D and all, there is a higher probability of amnesia, right? We are all dropped into amnesia now. We'll get the story of why we are in amnesia through this book. So, but which is why she did not want to go to lower levels, because there we'll forget ourselves. Once we enter the physical body, we'll forget ourselves. Amnesia is experienced when a consciousness is in the dimensional field that is dense enough to create a feeling of separation from source and the quantum field. So for example, let's say there is a planet that is away from Neptune. It is even beyond Neptune. Then it will feel that I'm not connected to the solar system at all. Right? Until Neptune, we have that planetary thing, solar system. Now, beyond Neptune, if there is a planet, maybe the sun will not even recognize it as a part of the solar system, something like that. So when it is beyond, it is basically not having that sense of connection to the source energy. And it will feel that sense of separation. And the quantum field also, which means that the feeling of energy only will not be there. Do you feel energy? Do you feel energy of the book? Do you feel energy of this bottle? We don't feel energy. We don't understand at all what is energy. So that is what is the sense of separation. Imagine dimensions as light that dims. So we are in a level where the light is so dim. Okay, the light is so dim that we can't see it all. It's not about eyes. That sense of awareness only is not there because it's the light. Imagine dimensions as a light that dims. As consciousness moves into lower dimensions, the light begins to dim, and the consciousness has more challenging time to stay connected. Consciousness means that higher dimensional consciousness that is inside us, driving us, no? It has very difficult time to control the body, to operate via the body. It gets very difficult because it's not able to, they are not aligned. The body is operating in its own way. The source wants something else. You want something else. Man proposes, God disposes, they say, no? So this is what it is. This is man proposing, God disposing. If you go lower, man will do something else, God will do something else. As the consciousness moves into the light begins to dim and the consciousness has more challenging time to stay connected, seeing who it is and what it is choosing. It forgets how consciousness works, where it originated from, and why it is where it is. Okay, it forgets everything. It's not about human body forgetting. It is about when that a part of that spark comes into us, or comes into the physical, that spark only forgets who it is. Okay, that is the major challenge. The consciousness that is inside us only will forget who it is. In addition, the density, see that is what is so important to understand, that God is like the sun. Okay, God is like the sun. Without God, we don't function. And the more we are separated from God, from a light perspective, the less light we have inside us, which is called dimension, right? The less light we have inside us, the less connected we are to stay with God, and the sense of separation is more. The sense of separation is more means there is no time for even thinking about how much of God I am, or what is my purpose, and those kinds of things. Those questions only will not come. We are so happy in the world that we are, happy in the sadness. Rather, we are basically sailing in that whatever world we are. So that is what it says. The less light we have, the inner consciousness only, that soul only forgets. It's not the soul, it's the subtle body itself forgets who it is and things like that. In addition, the density within the fields that are 4D and lower creates duality. Duality increases the variety of consciousness experienced within the field. However, it also provides denser consciousnesses such as control, right? We try to control, no? We try to control our kids. We try to control what they think. We try to make them force feed breakfast. Even I do that. I mean, today morning itself, I was trying, finish fully, don't waste, all that I was doing. Right? We are trying to control them. And then, because we have a belief system that they should not waste, when it just comes off automatically. And tyranny, right? Tyranny is basically bullying kind of thing. Greed. And we have a lot of greed. Many of us have a lot of greed. We have so much of objects which are more than what we actually need on a daily basis. Have you seen the fridge? Yeah, have you seen the fridge? We all have a fridge because we have greed. Duality creates good and bad, right and wrong, positive and negative. Right? We are basically sailing in that. Earth wanted to be in the physical form, experiencing the lower dimensional field without duality, because that's a lot of confusion for her to manage. So she wanted to play it safe, get the best of the physical part, right? That is what she wanted to do. And duality creates, while still connecting to Earth wanted to be in the physical form, experiencing the lower dimensional field without duality, while still staying connected to a higher dimensional consciousness, the quantum field, her knowingness of who she was, the source and everything. She wants it to be 100% in that knowing state. The 5D field allowed for all of this, and so she began her experimentation in 5D. That was her intention. But in reality, many things happened. That is what the story is all about. Once she established her intent, she needed to create a team of light beings that would design the experiment and then support, guide, and watch over her as she moved through it. Okay, that was her thing. Okay, we will stop it here. We will stop here and then we will do 1.5 tomorrow. Okay, any questions so far? Unmute your. Yeah, you can unmute yourself. Are you understanding, or is it is it even difficult to ask questions? I'm just trying to see whether it is going over the head. Is it OHT? Type OHT on the chat. Over the head transmission. OT, OHT. Anybody OT? Anybody with OT? Or everybody UT? Under transmission or inside transmission? Cool, yeah, no questions.
Smita, I have one question.
Uh-huh.
You said that the
Can you come on video?
Yeah, I have one question. You said that Earth want to experience it, so she came on the 5D. So directly without experiencing the 3D, is it possible to come directly on the 5D?
She's at a higher level. She came from some other level, but she wanted to feel physical. She, like, for example, let's say I'm a millionaire, but I don't want to go to slums. I have a choice, right? Let's say I'm Ambani. I want to experience living in low conditions, but I don't want to be in slums. I can probably start from a middle class family.
Okay.
Where she's getting enough, she's getting food, nutrition, she's getting food, clothing, shelter, everything is there. Maybe they don't have enough money to buy a Benz car or something, but they definitely have enough to have good education, good food, I mean, they have enough. Roti, makan, sabzi, all that is basically there. So that is her intention. She wanted to start from a safe area where, see, how because let's say if I go off to the slums, maybe there are some, maybe there is a lot of drug inducing stuff and all there. Maybe there are people who do a lot of, let's say, mafia and all is there. Who knows whether you will even be able to come back from there. So she wanted to say, okay, I'm going to be in these safe zones where I don't forget myself.
So Smita, in 5D also, she can see the reality of 3D.
There was no creation of 3D only at that time. When she started off, nobody was in 3D. Nobody had even gone to 3D. Today we are all there because it actually went there. And that is a story. Why did we even come here? If she wanted to be so safe, how did we land up here? We are all with her. We have all, many millions of years back, our souls have basically been with her. We participated in this experiment and we haven't been able to go back yet. We have been locked here. We have got stuck here. That is why all this evolution gyan, no? To wake ourselves up. We have not gone back after that because of various conditions, because of amnesia, all of that. Even if we die, we go to a level where there is amnesia there also. We have to go beyond that. For that, there is a lot of sadhana that is required. Sadhana is what? Energy. That energy pumping has to happen. Sun is anyway doing, and that is the whole journey is all about. Now it's a good time now to be here on earth because we are able to shift to that level. But provided we also have to push ourselves, because they will tell why we only have to do that work, why other people cannot do that work, all that they will tell. Because I told you, right, in tapping, what happens? We energy is coming constantly, sun is giving. But if we are not willing to take that energy and apply that in our reality, and from 5D, if you have to experience 5D fully and then go to 6D, if you're not willing to experience only, if you say, I don't like this, I don't like that kind of thing, then 5D quota only will not get over, no? That experiencing quota will not get over. Energy will not give me experience. Energy will just give me the conditions to respond to an experience. Experiences are floating in that 5D. Law of attraction is bringing me each of those experiences. But if I'm not ready to handle that, if I'm not ready to respond to that, who can save me? Nobody can save me, no? I'll be stuck there only.
So Smita, that you said that we are constantly getting the energy. So we have to save the energy by sadhana only.
We are always leaking. See, in duality, we leak. Because there's good, bad, constantly we are leaking. But in 5D, there is no leak.
And if we are constantly working in our house, you're constantly in moving state, then also there is a leakage of energy.
How do you know whether there is no leakage of energy? Because you are not 100% aware of yourself, no? आप आत्मा के लेवल पे काम तो नहीं कर रहे हो ना? So there is always a leak because हम body के level पे काम कर रहे हैं.
If we are doing at the atma level also and doing our physical work also throughout the day and doing our sadhanas and also with that, then also there is a leakage of energy.
There is a constant progress at least. You're going in a steady speed. See, which is why you can see in the past, whatever you were versus whatever you are now, maybe there is a lot of difference. You have grown a lot in many ways. So like that only we can measure ourselves. But how far we have measured, how far we are we in 4D, are we in 3D, are we that D, that we can't measure. We have to keep going. But at some point when you have reached your, let's say, self-realization, that is what is called self-realization. Means you have actually experienced yourself as an Atma, and now you see where exactly I am, which field I am, all that you can see. Because from an Atma's level, you can see all that. You jumped into the next level where you are that higher dimensional consciousness who's driving you. Before that, you were still in that front. But now you have basically gone back to see who's this driving me. And that happens only through self-realization. And from there onward, the journey is pretty much balanced. but we have to get to that level. But now is a good time to easily go to that level, which is why many of this awareness is actually coming to us. That we will discuss as and when we go to the next chapters. Why,
Thank you.
what, how, and all that. Okay, yeah. Anybody else? Yeah, taking time to absorb. True. These are all complex concepts. Even I don't want to tell you a lot more than what is required and confuse you. Whenever time comes, I'm going to keep telling. Silent. I don't know what I should assume. Manjula.
Smita, why we are crying when writing gratitude? Uma here.
What happens is when you are basically writing gratitude, at some point your energy levels also will increase. Maybe in, let's say, it's you'll feel very grateful for one particular point. Let's say at that time the energy will be higher and you'll be able to touch at the soul level. You'll feel really grateful. Before that, it was superficially grateful, intellectually grateful. Yeah, they have given me this. Yes, I have to say thank you. Initially, it will be like that. But as you continue to go deeper and deeper, practice, because gratitude, when you're doing even superficially, energy is coming. Because you're thinking in that direction of great gratitude, no? So some energy is coming. But at some point, in some areas, there are no too many pits that you've created. The holes that are in some areas, holes are not too deep. So in those areas, when you fill little bit of mud also, it will basically look flat. No, then you'll reach the positive state when you go in gratitude for that area. Then you'll be able to hit really 450 frequency for gratitude. And then it'll feel at the soul level. Then you'll cry. Because feelings come from the heart center, not the physical heart center, which is in the center of the chest here.
Because after hearing your voice message that day, you mentioned that river is not near to us, but we are getting water. So after hearing that voice message, no, like feel like crying. That we are getting very easily that
True,
we are not
very,
thinking.
very true, very true. I mean, the everyday what I think is, see, it is okay. It is very generous of somebody to give you drinking water because you may die otherwise. But imagine the generosity for of the river to give you water for peeing, pooping, luxury, taking bath in the shower, then cleaning the bathroom, right? Cleaning the vessels. So many things, watering the plant. So much we do. Cleaning the car. So much of water we use on a daily basis, and that is not coming. And I mean, there's so much of work that has happened for that river to supply all that water to you. So it's a huge miracle. It's a huge, and I'm sure there are so many parts of Africa which don't even get this kind of luxury, or maybe so many parts of India also they don't get that luxury. So this is what is called. This is actually helps you define which dimension you are. The kind of luxuries you have in your life, the kind of facilities you have in your life. You are in a higher level of third dimension where you feel contented, where you feel safe, where it feels secure. This is what is called yugas. Yugas are in your head only, in your dimensions. Fifth dimension space means Satya Yuga. So like that, if you keep descending, you are in Kali Yuga, means you are somewhere like in the beginning part of third dimension, or maybe second dimension, and those kinds of areas where like cruelty is like its peak. You moved past all that in some life, and then you've moved past, and then you come to higher states of living. So this is what is called, if things are very comfortable in your life, you are actually in a very good place. And this is what they say, you are moving to Dwapar Yuga, you are moving to this Yuga, that Yuga, and all, irrespective of what those names mean. You are comfortable, you feel safe, you know that when your children go out, they'll definitely return back. All these are that dimension effect only. The energy that is inside you, that effect.
That message is so beautiful. After that, only when I started, sometimes feel like that day highlighting Mother Earth started crying. Then in the bathroom started crying. So like that, seeing
I mean, there
water.
are so many. I mean, why I say we leak, right? The same thing will not come another day for me. One day I was crying when I was cleaning the bathroom. I was feeling so much for the commode. I was feeling so grateful for the commode that it takes our shit every day. How generous it is, how humble it is, and those kinds of things. But next week I cleaned, I didn't get that. Right? So, but when it comes, you have to enjoy. Who knows next day it'll come or no? Yeah, when it comes, enjoy. Enjoy, happily cry and be enjoying. Yeah, like that. And good if you can actually develop those feelings again and again and again and again when you listen to it.
No, that after listening that voice message, but in the class that didn't come. But listening that voice message, how much we are like grateful things. But when we are explaining also, we are like, hey, see, you are getting this thing, that thing. See how much grateful like we are. So that is, we are taking for granted everything. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Seriously, gratitude has taught us true value of life. See, irrespective of, we can say, oh yeah, we are only God, we are only creating everything. Why should we do gratitude? We can ask all that. But then without basically experiencing being a human being, the physical human being, that conscious, rather putting our consciousness as a human being. As of now, we are in duality, right? So which means we'll first have to be a human, and then only we can go back to that level. So if we are not able to do this level, then we cannot ascend to that level. This homework, if we have not done justice to this level, then we cannot go to those levels. So which is why that will give us energy only when we do justice to this level. Yeah, Manjula.
Smita, my question is what in the chapter till we have read it, we see that experiences and expressions also. So, for example, in that the consciousness is free to create any experience and be any expressions. I want to expand you what they mean by any expressions.
So the consciousness is free to create any experience. That's what you said, right?
Yes,
Where
create
is
any experience and be any expression.
Under which thing it is?
Page number 7.
No, under which topic?
First chapter, the design of the 5D Earth. Before it starts the 1.1, the intention and experiment.
Oh, before that only, yeah? Okay. Okay, I don't know about this. Okay, it's okay. I'll probably just tell like that. Can you just repeat again? The consciousness is
in the quantum field, the consciousness is free to create any experience and be any expression.
So I am expressing myself as Smita. I can express myself as a bottle in the same 3D because both are vibrating at the same frequency. That's why I can see this can see me. So I can express myself as Smita, I can express myself as Anita, I can express myself as anybody. And experiences also I'm free to create, which means let's say I'm that inner Atma. I can create any experience. If I want to experience fear, I can bring an experience that will help me experience that fear. Who's creating all this? That is only creating all this. That is what it says called that planning and all that, right? So it is getting generated, no? All these experiences are getting generated in front of you constantly, no? And that is also getting created. And that consciousness is only creating all that.
Okay.
Body is not creating. Body is experiencing it. Through body, it is experiencing. It will only create, it will only experience also. It wants, that is why it's experiencing.
So that is
I want visible bath, then I will only create visible bath.
Yeah,
like
that is called expression, right? The
creating. I'm expression means how are you showing yourself up? I'm expressing myself as an apple. I can shape myself as an apple. Expression means what form and shape are you going to take?
Okay.
Like what, how are you going to show up there in the 5D? I may show up as a tall person. I may show up as a short person. I may show up as an angry person. I may show up as a very calm person. Those are also expressions only. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other question? Okay, good. Yeah, I think we're going to wind up in time today. Fine. If there is no other question, then thank you very much. Thank you very much for actually being here, patiently listening to whatever I have to say, and also not asking questions. I don't know why, but it's okay. It's okay. Maybe as time passes, you may be getting more comfortable in asking questions. Do read the book after you attend the class, because it will help you understand the concept even more better when you actually read the book after listening to the class. And that knowledge will come from inside. The understanding will now come from inside and not because Smita told. It has to come from inside only, then it will sit as knowledge. The knowledge that you can actually apply and understand and all that will have to come from inside. So make it come from inside after you attend this class. Okay? Yeah. Thank you very much. Anita, thank you so much for the Zoom and the music and meditation support and all that. Thank you very much, friends. Bye.